Please read the following disclaimer. Okay, so today I'm going to share with you something that I have been posting regularly at a forum called Traderji.com. You can see the URL on top over here. So I have started a thread called Advanced Price Action Trading with Demand, Supply, and More. And I'm really glad that I started this forum because a lot of enthusiastic traders, real traders, they are part of this forum, and they have been asking a lot of questions regarding different stocks, different setups, and different concepts, which I try to answer when I get time. And so if you want, you can even participate in this discussion at this particular forum, if that is okay with you. Right, so today we had a lot of discussions regarding certain stocks. One stock that I would like to, one discussion rather, I would like to share with you in this video because it relates to the concept that we had learned in yesterday's video. That is the concept of ERC, engulf, reverse, continue, and how this is playing out in Maruti stock. So, few days back, one of the users and a good trader, I would say, is Sablok R. You can see his profile here, profile name here. So he's a regular poster over here, and so we had a discussion regarding Maruti and what are the potential zones where Maruti can show reversals from. So currently we can see that Maruti is reacting from this particular supply zone over here, right? A good one. So it's falling from there, and it is held now by this demand zone, and we have also one more good demand zone over here. Okay, so it's reacting from there. So if we go down to the LTF for 15 minutes, we can see that how beautifully the concept of ERC and POI is playing out. So here we had a major barrier, which was basically the high of this major swing move up, and then the swing move down from there. So price hit this demand zone a couple of times, thrice basically, and then it's going up from there, the daily demand zone. So this point of imbalance had taken out this particular barrier over here. Price went up till here, engulfed this barrier, closed above it, and then came back here, reversed, and then in a very jagged manner it went up. So this is not a very good ERC zones. Good ERC zones would also have good strength in terms of the continuation move. Here prices went up, again went up. Nonetheless, it's still an ERC once the engulf happened back of this high. So this is the ERC highlighted in yellow, and this was the POI demand zone. So you can see that price went up and then again came back here, touched this ERC, and again rebound. Right? This gave a good more than 2.5 hour move basis this ERC demand zone on this intraday time frame. Then price dropped back. It eliminated or engulfed this ERC zone and hit this POI, and again it reacted, right? So both these zones had good power. And then price, since this ERC was engulfed by this POI, so this also assumed importance. So therefore price went up and is now reacting from that POI. And I think it's already given 1 RR so far. So let's see, this does not mean that prices will turn here immediately. So in the discussion I had mentioned that in the morning today, I think we just go back. Yes, over here. So this was a discussion by Sablok R, right, a few days back. And was just inquiring about this trade. So I asked him, did you go long on Maruti at this demand zone? It's almost giving a 2-to-1 RR, right, as of now. So if I were you, I would book some profits for the long. So the reason for mentioning this, I had explained in my latest post over here. So basically on the LTF, we had witnessed the break of this ERC zone, right? So this was an indication price action that prices could be staging a turn from here. Could be. Just highlight the word could be. So therefore, it's prudent to take off some profits over here. If you were long at this demand zone, daily demand zone, and getting almost a 2RR, take off some profits over here. Because the move can turn from here or it can move up, right? As in when price action, the new fresh PA develops. I think since this chart was taken, the snapshot, prices has moved down furthermore. So yeah, so this is important, and the concepts are at play over here. So therefore, I thought I should highlight this. Okay, and yes, so let's go back. And he's really an active participant in this forum, and it's really good. Basically, you learn through practice and posting charts. That is the way you learn if you're new to this method. So it's really good, and I really appreciate his efforts. So this is a chart he posted on Bajaj Finance. He's given an update that it is reacting from this particular supply zone. Yes, it is. Given a 1-on-1 RR so far. Right. And so this was a discussion on Nifty. So he really learned yesterday's concept really well, and he's pointing out that the Nifty's lifetime high has been engulfed. So that's also engulfing of a barrier. And he was just inquiring what to do next and what could happen. So so right now Nifty has engulfed, but let it close, because this is today itself, this particular candle. Right, so it's still in a formation stage. We have still time to go. And if this kind of scenario happens out, if it plays out like the proper engulf and then a reversal till here, or may not be till here, and then again a continuation by engulfing this high on the upside, then it could potentially create a ERC zone over here, or wherever this ERC is formed, right? So in such cases, even the momentum of this continuation move is also important in such lifetime high cases. So even keep that in mind. I think I missed this point, but this is such a vast topic, and there's so many variations and nuances that, with time only I'll be able to cover fine points. That's why I suggest to my viewers to not skip the video, because some important point comes into my mind, and I talk about it, and if you just skip the video, go forward 10 seconds like that, you'd miss certain important points. And this is evident from certain questions that I get, that people have been skipping videos, they're not watching it completely, so therefore they miss the finer points talked in between. Right, so this is what could play out. Let's see what happens. Price action is pretty dynamic in nature. Then next, this was interesting. This was the case of Hero Motor Corp. There is a user Preeti21. So she was doing some intraday strategy in which I think she was shorting. She was short, of course, from an intraday perspective. Right over here, she was short this day. I think a couple of days back over here. And so she asked this question, so I drew these two stacked demand zones over here and told her that we should not go short near demand zones or at demand zones, because the probability, the odds would go against us in terms of the flow of the current of the order flow, right? So, and this is what happened. So in a couple of days, price is reacting on the opposite direction from this because of this potential pending orders being released from here, right? And yes, so this was also something that I had to reiterate towards to Preeti regarding these things that should be avoided. So thanks, Preeti. I mean, even asking these questions to bring out a lot of pointers for other viewers, other learners, other traders. So there's nothing called bad question. We've already heard that. All questions are welcome, and but keep it to this particular method. Basically, demand supply and advanced concepts. So that yes. So again. This was another example. I think it was asked again by Sablok. So he has pointed out another example in Asian Paints. He said, check out the weekly chart. After breaking all-time high, it exhibited ERC perfectly. Okay, so I sort of missed his weekly chart reference. I just opened up Asian Paints chart and I could find this this ERC that played out Asian Paints in the past. So here is another example. This is again all-time high example of Asian Paints still here. It went to the all-time high on April, and then it dropped from there in a sort of staging a downtrend, right? Then again it went up, engulfed this barrier over here, right? It reversed and then went up in a very clumsy manner, in a very compressed manner, right? But again, this was the root of the compression, and if I were him, this is also the POI, right? So I would combine this start zone. Then price came back, dipped to that ERC zone, came back down, further down, again sort of tested both this stack zones, the POI and the ERC, and then started going up slowly and then rallied from there, right? So this is also an ERC zones example that played out in Asian Paints daily chart. So let's see, he said weekly chart, which I missed. Let's see what Asian Paints weekly chart is saying. So let's go to the weekly chart. Yep, so in weekly as well. Yes, and on weekly, one ERC is still fresh. So if I delete this from the daily chart, so this was the all-time high, correct? And price engulfed this. It dropped back here and then it engulfed again. So this becomes our ERC example. And these two zones are stacked together, which is pretty good, but I'd combine these two together. So this is the combined zone I would take. It's the demand, so it should be green color, right? And the POI for this is this one. So combining these two together, therefore this entire zone. This is the POI zone on the weekly, which engulfed this previous all-time highs, okay? And then engulf, reverse, continue. Strong continuation. So this kind of continuation is really good. If the continuation move is strong, then the ERC zone really assumes importance. And it's really good to trade such zones instead of a very weak kind of a continuation. So there should be a force to continue on the same direction of the engulf. So this is the ERC, and it should be, yep, wick to wick. So this is the ERC zone. Yep. And if price drops here, I would look for longs. although it's not any trade recommendation, just for learning. So treat it that way. And yep, so yes, Sablok, this is really a good example of an ERC zone. Let's go back. Okay. So a lot of questions being asked today. So this was a question regarding Indigo yesterday by Preeti. So it's a difficult chart after reading price action of this chart. But still she wanted to trade this one, so I just had to put my point of view across. So therefore there were two demand zones, one here, one here. This one is fresh, okay, and this one is basically pretty much used up, this demand zone. Okay, and but still it's not broken yet, so a 2TB is also possible, but I would not go for a 2TB in this case because the penetration is too much. Okay, so yep. And so in this particular chart, if you notice, this was the I think previous all-time high, or even for the swing high for that matter, and this was engulfed by this particular candle. So this becomes our point of imbalance. So price engulfed. Next candle, next week itself, it came back to this POI, and then it moved up from there, right? It gave a I think more than 2 RR or 2.5 RR from here. But this high was engulfed by this candle, and this entire zone over here is pretty ugly, right? So this is the kind of ERC zones that you should avoid, right? It came back, gave a tiny little reaction, and then dropped and broke this zone, right? So look at the zone over here. So where would you plot the zone, right? So it's pretty ugly. So avoid this kind of ERC. Go for a good one, like the one which we saw on the weekly of Asian Paints, right? This kind of continuation, strong. These are the good ERC zones. These are bad ERC zones. Okay. So let's see next. Against Tides liked the video. Thank you against Tides. Oh, I think I missed this post somehow. So I will answer. Let's take a look at Reliance. He's saying, Sablok is saying, thanks for the video. One instrument that exhibited ERC recently is Reliance. And he's pointing out this particular zone as ERC, and he's taking this as the barrier. Let's check out on the charts. This is Reliance. This is Reliance's daily, I think, yeah. So which zone? Okay, this one. This was the all-time high. Put out the magnet mode. Okay. Yes. So again, the strength wasn't that great, but still, ERC, this is an ERC zone. So this was engulfed. The POI zone was this one. This was a POI zone. Was there. Right? It's not touched yet. And engulfed, then reversed, and then continued and broke this one. And then it formed another zone over here. So this is the start zone, level on top of level. So if I expand these two, right, and okay. So one is this one. Let me take it base to it. Okay, this is the ERC zone, and this was stacked zone, level on top of levels. This was the second one. Yep, and price actually came back to this one. So the ERC zone wasn't touched. The stack zone above it was basically the one that was touched, and prices went up from there. So yeah, good. This is an example of an ERC, of course. Good example, sab log. And this was a stacked zone scenario. The upper zone played out. Price did not come back to the lower zone. Okay, so yeah, so let me just write to him live. I'm answering this one in the new video today. And questions really help everyone actually. So I'm thankful to him for asking so many questions. Let me just put a nice smiley for him. Yep, and I really mean it. So keep the questions coming because we learn that way. Okay. Okay, so we have a new post from Dhruv24. Wow, he's posting nice charts. Okay. See, let me see what alerts do I have. Okay. Let's see. Oh, sorry. It just moved on to the next one. So Dhruv says, glad to see that there are more people dwelling into advanced PA. Yep, I'm glad too. Superb job done on the YouTube videos. Thanks for explaining the subject in such simple language. Looking forward to more conversation videos. Thank you, Dhruv. Yep, and just posted some nice charts. Meanwhile, trying to apply the knowledge in charts. Please do comment if I missed something. Sure, I would. Not taking any trades till I get a hang of this. Perfect. This is perfect because if you're new to something, especially in trading, you must first learn it, practice it, apply it in the charts, and just see that, see, there are a lot of teachers and experts, so-called experts. By the way, I don't claim myself to be an expert. I'm also a learner. Okay, so I'm not an expert in any way, but I'm just trying to help out with the knowledge that I have, fellow traders. There are experts who, make these outrageous claims. So be aware of such experts, okay? And therefore, but do not reject any new idea or any new concept. So the best way, which I feel, is that learn from everyone, apply it on your charts, and then see for yourself. Just validate those concepts for yourself, whether they're working or not, or whether they suit you or not. And then, if it suits you, and if it works, then go ahead and go and master those concepts. Use them in your trading. Right? So this is a perfect attitude, I would say, a perfect approach. Do not trade this. Just learn, master it, apply it, do some forward testing, back testing, forward testing, and do some paper trades. And only if you're comfortable with it, if you find it's fine, then only go ahead with trades if you would like to. So I'll answer his queries. I think he's posted nice questions here. Let me take the first one. This is which chart? This is Nifty 50. I think this is intraday time frame. I'm not able to figure out what time frame this is, but this does look like intraday time frame. could be 1 hour or 2 hour time frame. But anyway, this is a supply zone, correct? This is the POI which broke this, correct?